so that we may always walk in the path of justice, love, and charity to one another. Help us with that grace to do only those things that will promote the unity, peace, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend our unity and uphold our honor and glory. So help me God. Honorable colleagues, I have examined and approved the votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 6 February 2024. Announcements. This announcement is coming from Honorable Adeboyega Adefarati, and the message reads as follows. I extend my most profound greetings to you, to the leadership, and to the esteemed members of this noble house. It is with heavy heart and deep sense of solemnity that I write to inform you of the passing of a former member of this hallowed chamber, Honorable Dr. P.S. Orimoloye, who was a part of the 4th and 5th National Assembly. Honorable Orimoloye was a beacon of wisdom and leadership during his tenure representing the Akoko Southeast, Southwest Federal Constituency. His dedication to legislative excellence and unwavering commitment to the aspirations of our nation set a standard that continues to inspire many. Unfortunately, Honorable Orimoloye departed from this role on the 14th of December 2023 at the age of 90. His wealth of experience, sound advice, and honesty of purpose are virtues that will be sorely missed, not just by his immediate constituency, but by the entire nation he diligently served. Honorable Orimoloye was laid to rest on the 12th of January 2024, and he is survived by a loving family who, like us, are grateful for his life of service and continue to be inspired by his legacy. It is my humble request that the House may observe a moment of silence in honor of the departed soul and put on record the achievement of this great person. Thank you for giving this matter the kind and urgent attention it deserves. My thoughts and prayers are with you, the members of the Assembly, and the bereaved family during this time of sorrow. Yours sincerely, Honorable Adeboyega Adeyemi Adefarati. The second announcement is coming from the Deputy Chief Whip. The Deputy Chief Whip, and the message reads as follows. It is with humility and joy that I wish to inform the leadership and my highly respected colleagues that the Kingdom Life University, Florida, United States of America, on Saturday, 3rd February 2024, conferred on me the prestigious award of Doctor of Philosophy in Applied Financial Management and Humanities. By this development, I wish to be addressed. Please listen, honorable colleagues. I wish to be addressed as follows. Right Honorable Dr. Yeyoba Otumba Alhaja Ijaya Adewumi Oriomi Onanuga. Thank you, my dearest colleagues. You are sincerely Deputy Chief Whip. So, honorable colleagues, it will be an abomination when you are addressing our Deputy Chief Whip henceforth to omit any of these names. It will be an abomination. The leadership will not take it lightly. So, honorable colleagues, shall we rise for a minute silence in honor of our brother who passed away? May his soul rest in peace. Any member with petition? Any petition from any member? Yes, Honorable Dr. Patrick.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Speaker of the 10th Assembly. Honorable colleagues, my name is Dr. Patrick Umar. I represent the entire people of Ikorekpene, Esienudum, Obodoka Afido constituency. The Speaker, I come from Akwa Ibom State. I rise to present a petition in favor of my constituent, Thomas Sunday, on the subject of his suspension from the Federal Inland Revenue Service. He's making an appeal for reinstatement. I crave your indulgence, Mr. Speaker, to lay this petition before this House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Please proceed and lay your petition. Yes, Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I'm Professor Julius Ihanville. I represent Onwa Federal Constituency. I have a petition for one of my constituents, a petition on unwarranted detention and harassment of the medical director and staff of Alliance Hospital by National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP. Is seeking justice from the House. I seek your permission to lay this petition.
Yes, Leader, please proceed. Any more petitions? All petitions are referred to the Committee on Public Petition. Matters of urgent public importance, it's my pleasure to recognize Honorable Baba Jimmy Benson, that man that comes from one village called Ikorodu. If he's around, please, he can rise and move his motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, Ian Zazao, and the Agbaki of Ekiti land. Mr. Speaker, I remain Baba Jimmy Benson from Ikorodu Federal Constituency in oil-rich Lagos. Mr. Speaker, I rise to create the indulgence of this House to request for two things. One, to move a motion of matter of urgent national importance on the need for banks to implement CBN's policies on holding excess long foreign exchange, and net open position limits. Mr. Speaker, I crave the indulgence of this House to pray that this motion be deemed as urgent under Order 8 Rule 5, to move it as urgent, and to suspend our relevant rules. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Honorable Orange? Ginger, sorry. Honorable Ginger, please second. I adding Orange to the name.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, very dear colleagues. My name is Ginger Obinna Omusibe. I represent Isialangwa North, Isialangwa South Federal Constituency of Abia State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second this motion to say that it's urgent to be heard. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg of the motion, Honorable Martins.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Martins Esin. I represent the people of Oron, Mbu, Okobo, Udumuko, Urefun Orugu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Akwa Ibom State, and I rise to second the second leg of that motion. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Benson, please proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The House notes that the Central Bank of Nigeria is saddled with the responsibility of regulating the monetary policies of the country as provided by the CBN Act. The House also notes that in the performance of this duty, the CBN is empowered to make regulations and give directives for commercial banks and certain financial institutions to implement. Further note that Section 8(4) and 5 of the CBN Act requires that the CBN governor is expected to brief the relevant committees of the National Assembly during the semi-annual hearings, as well as provide periodic reports on the performance of the economy to the National Assembly. The House is concerned that there has been a steady rise in the rate of the dollar in comparison to the naira. It rose to 1,500 or thereabout last week. The House is also concerned that this astronomical rise has been caused by diverse market forces and certain economic policies adopted by the government, including the liberalization of the dollar. The House is further concerned that the commercial banks and certain financial institutions in Nigeria usually hold back a large part of foreign exchange that they obtain either through purchase, borrowing, or allocation from the CBN, rather than lending same to their customers with a view to selling it when the exchange rate is high. The House is worried that this speculative activity by commercial banks and certain financial institutions has further exacerbated the harsh economic situation in the country and has led to difficulty by legitimate businesses to obtain foreign exchange for their business transactions. Aware that the Central Bank of Nigeria has intervened by introducing new monetary policies to check the rise in the rate of the dollar, among which are the next net open position limits and holding excess long foreign exchange. The House is also aware that commercial banks and certain financial institutions are reluctant to implement the monetary measures put in place by the Apex Bank to check this unwholesome practice by banks and other institutions in the country. The House is concerned that unless drastic legislative measures are taken to enforce the implementation of these directives, the country will continue to experience dire economic hardship as a result of continuous rise in foreign exchange rates. The House resolves to mandate the House committees on banking regulations and banking institutions to conduct an investigative hearing on the non-compliance by banks and financial institutions with the CBN directives on the net open position limits. Also mandate the Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure full implementation. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Oshoba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My distinguished colleagues, Olumide Oshoba, representing Abeokuta North, Obafemi and Odeda Federal Constituency. I rise to second this motion, ably moved by Honorable Babachimi Benson. So, second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Banking Regulations and Banking Institutions with Legislative Compliance. The next matter of urgent public importance is coming from our one and only Prince Akinyemi Olaide. All other princes, if they are from the southwest,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
should know that our prince is supremo. Eh?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Our people of Lagos are hearing me. We recognize Prince Akinyemi as our own here. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable the Prince Akim Adeniyi Adeyemi. Mr. Speaker, I'm speaking for the people of Afidio, Atiba, Oyo East and Oyo West. I'm from the Peseta State, named after the kingdom, Oyo. Mr. Speaker, I want to come under Order 825 to beg the House to take this matter, the urgent need to review the plan promotion examination by NECO for about 1,500 staff to converge at Minna, Niger State on the 4th and 15th February in view of the security situation and economic hardship in the country. Mr. Speaker, I want to come under Order 825 to suspend all other relevant rule of the House, to take this matter as very urgent. I so move, sir.
Any seconder to the first leg? Honorable Uduak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Uduak Ududo is my name. I represent the people of Ikotabasi in Patenin and East Noble Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Akwa State. I rise this morning to second that motion. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg. Yes, Honorable. Go ahead. Say Honorable Jumbo? Solomon? Wombo, sorry. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Solomon Wombo. I represent the people of Kasnala, Okum, Logo Federal Constituency. I am from Benue State. Your Excellency, I stand to support the second leg of the motion that it is urgent enough for the House to set aside its rules to consider the motion now. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, please proceed and move your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There's need to review the plan promotion examination by NECO for about 1,500 staff to converge at Minna, Niger State on the 14th, 15th February 2024 in view of the security situation and economic hardship in the country. The House notes that the National Examination Council, NECO, by a circular dated 9 January 2024, is bid to hold a 2024 staff promotion examination on 14th of February 2024 at Federal University of Technology, Fort Minna, Niger State. Also note that NECO, by a circular dated 17 January 2024, published the names of about 1,500 staff to partake in the said 2024 promotion examination on the 14th and 15th February 2024 at Federal University of Technology, Fort Minna. Aware that in the past, the examination body has conducted similar promotion examination for our staff
Order, please.
at various zonal and regional offices without necessarily making large number of staff from different states of the Federation to travel and converge at one place for the promotion examination. Mr. Speaker and the House, we are concerned that due to the security situation in the country and the economic hardship biting out on the citizen, including the staff of National Examination Council, NECO, it is perilous to cost about 1,500 staff to travel from different parts of the country to one place in the name of promotional examination, Mr. Speaker. Believe that the examination body, which conducts examination for candidates all over the country, has the capacity to conduct promotion examination for our staff at different states of the Federation. The House do resolve that we mandate the committees on education, examination board, and basic education to interact with the National Examination Council, NECO, on our plan 2024 promotion examination for about 1,500 staff at place vis-a-vis the security and economic situation of the country. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Honorable Agilo.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, my name is Honorable Umar Agilo, member representing Makarbukudan Federal Constituency from Kaduna State. I rise to second the motions of urgent public importance, ably moved by my dear colleagues and brother. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the committee. Which committee did you propose? Is it basic education?
Committee on Education, Examination Board, and Basic Education, both of them.
Committee on Basic Education.
Basic Education Board.
Which other one?
Examination Board.
Examination Board?
Yes.
That's okay. Yes. So the Examination Board should take a lead, right? Should be the lead committee. Thank you. The next matter of urgent public importance is coming from Honorable Ojena Ojotu. If he's around, please can you rise and move your motion.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Speaker, the man with unlimited humility and simplicity. Respected honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Pastor Ojema Ojotu. I represent the good people of Apa Federal Constituency of Benue State. Mr. Speaker, I wish to create the indulgence of the House to, in line with Order 8, Room 5, consider this my motion that border on the insecurity and invasion of the people of Apa Federal Constituency. On this note, I'd like to move that we should suspend the relevance rule of the House and give me the opportunity to present this motion that is of urgent national importance. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to the first leg? I can see somebody from Adama looking as if he's from the Lamido's palace. Anyone from Adamawa?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Barrister Ali Wakili Boya, a member representing Fufore Song Federal Constituency, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Speaker from Adamawa State. I rise to support the motion presented by my friend and brother on the first leg of his motion. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg of the motion. Yes, Honorable. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Mudashiru Lukman, representing the good people of Iwo Ayedire Olaoluwa Federal Constituency. I'm from Osun State. I rise this morning to second the second leg of the motion. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Pastor, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, the Right Honorable Speaker, respected honorable colleagues. This motion is on attack on the Apagatu Federal Constituency, call for swift action against relentless, deadly invasion and attacks on the constituency. The House notes that series of deadly attacks commenced in Apagatu Federal Constituency of Benue State.
Honorable Shagaya,
on January,
please be attentive.
On January 18, 2024, resulting in the tragic loss of more than 60 lives, including 3 security operatives, 2 soldiers, and 1 Nigeria security and civil defense personnel, who paid the ultimate sacrifice in line of duty. And where the attacks have devastated over 20 communities, namely Ogumogbo, Ikpele, Ejima, Ugboju, Omaga, Udugbeho, Okokolo, Opokolo, Idukwicho, Obugodo, Iwili, Omogidi, Idada, Iga, Ugboju, and others within Apagatu Federal Constituency. Also aware that the attackers suspected to be armed headers have caused immense suffering, destruction, and displacement of innocent residents, leaving behind a train of sorrow, death, and despair. Concerned that many persons remain missing and their whereabouts are yet to be ascertained, compounding the anguish and their families and communities. Recognize that Apagatu people have consistently been victims of similar attacks in the past, and it is imperative for the government to address the root causes of these recurring attacks and invasion. Inform that there still exists an imminent threat for further attacks. Inform that worry that insecurity in Agatu, if not nipped at the board, will escalate to Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, due to its proximity to the constituency. Concerned that the attacks and displacement of my constituents, who are predominantly farmers and major producers of yam and rice in Nigeria, will certainly bring untold hunger and hardship on the citizen in the years or days ahead. Concerned that the routes and the location of these attackers are well known, hence it is a mystery why proactive measures are not employed to disseminate these invaders. House resolved to urge the House to utterly condemn in the strongest terms the series of deadly attacks in Apagatu Federal Constituency of Benue State, and express its deep condolences to the families and victims who have lost their lives, including the brave security operative who sacrificed their lives for the security of our nation. Mandate the House to observe a minute silence for the departed. Also urge Federal Minister of Defense, National Security Advisor, and the relevant security agency to take immediate and decisive action to restore peace, security, and stability in Apagatu. Further urge that the military special force unit be established in strategic locations and deployment of modern technology for security surveillance, e.g. drones, in the community. This will boost the confidence of the inhabitants to resettle in their community. Mandate the House Committee on National Security and Intelligence to conduct thorough investigation into Apagatu attacks and report to the House within 4 weeks. Urge the federal government to produce humanitarian assistance to the affected community, including the provision of relief materials, medical care, psychological support for the survivor and display. Distinguished Honorable Speaker, I so move.
Any seconder? Honorable Shagaya.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Mukhtar Tolani Shagaya, and I represent Nigerians starting from Ilorin West, Asa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion as ably moved by my friend and brother, Honorable Ojotu. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committees on Defense, National Security, and NEMA. Shall we rise for a minute silence in honor of the deceased? May their soul rest in peace. Honorable colleagues, the next matter of urgent public importance is coming from Honorable Engineer Dominic Ifeanyi Okafor. If he's around, can you rise and move his motion?
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Speaker and fellow colleagues. My name is Honorable Engineer Dominic Ifeanyi Okafor, and I speak for the people of Agwata Federal Constituency. I'm from Anambra State. Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues, I am coming under Order 8 through 5 to seek the leave of the House to move this very urgent and important motion on the need to curb the deteriorating insecurity in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. And I'm humbly asking the House to set aside all relevant rules to allow me to present this motion. I hereby move.
Any seconder to the first leg? Kai, this house is blessed today, oh. Eh? For having our chair back. And I think I will not do us justice if I don't recognize him. But I hope you not come with any amendment. Eh? Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Chris Nkwonta, and I represent the good people of Okwa East and West Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to second the motion that the House please suspend Order 8 and Order 8 and Rule number 5, so that the motion can go ahead. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg of the motion, I have not seen my sister for quite a long time. I don't know whether she traveled to Europe or to China, but if she doesn't want to introduce herself this year, I will force her to do so. Honorable Morin.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, I'm hearing. What is the point of order?
Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, my name is Engineer Tunji Akionsi. I'm a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and I'll please seek your leave, sir, to read from the new standing order. The order 8 through 5 here, and 4. Not more than 3 of motions that are of urgent national public importance shall be read.
I've used my discretionary power and to allow him. And so you're overruled.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So, Honorable Maureen, please go ahead and second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Gwacha Maureen Chinwe. I represent the good and hardworking people of Oyi, Ayamelun Federal Constituency. I'm from Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to second the second leg of the motion as moved by my brother. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this privilege. Motion on very urgent need to curb deteriorating insecurity in Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Knows that the Federal Capital Territory is and remains the seat of federal government from where national policies are formulated. Headquarters of federal government agencies.
Leader, somebody is distracting you, I can see.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Knows that the Federal Capital Territory is and remains the seat of federal government from where national policies are formulated. Headquarters of federal government agencies are domiciled. International edifices are located. Majority of foreigners and visitors reside. Aware that the federal government of nearby Nasarawa State has announced plans to install security cameras across their state to curb the distressing insecurity challenges in the state, which ought to be replicated in Abuja, being the center of the nation and should be the safest place in the country. Very worried that the level of insecurity revving the center of unity in recent times is, to say the least, very disappointing and unbefitting of a federal capital city, where there are escalating cases of one chance, armed robberies, banditry, and rampant kidnapping and killings. Concerned that the last administration, through the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, compulsorily registered and linked national identification numbers, NIN, with telephone numbers of Nigerians, and further linked same with various bank accounts, with the main purpose of curbing the rising spread of insecurity in the country. Disturbed that since the compulsory registration of and linking of national identification numbers, NIN, by the federal government, there has never been a time it was deployed to tackle or address the pressing and scary state of insecurity in the Federal Capital Territory or the nation at large. Further worried that since criminal elements in and around the Federal Capital Territory are speedily evolving from the norm to advanced techniques of criminality, the security agencies of government ought to urgently move to digitalize their operations to return the Federal Capital Territory to its safest haven in the country with the use of drones, closed-circuit television, CCTV, and other modern sophisticated security gadgets. Cognizant that restructuring the nation economically and politically, as is obtainable in most Western economies, is the next most appropriate step the federal government of Nigeria should go in a bid to addressing the teething economic, political, and security concerns of Nigerians. Resolves: 1. Invite the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, the National Security Advisor, and heads of all security agencies for an emergency security briefing and strategy. 2. Mandate the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory to install security cameras in and around the FCT and its environs. Also, to install other security gadgets and equip security personnel with modern security equipment to combat the rising and frightening insecurity within the territory and its environs, including the use of drones. 3rd, mandate heads of all security agencies to urgently collaborate among themselves, train and set up special units with their formations to track and clamp down on the criminal elements within and around the territory. 4th, mandate the security agency to immediately commence the use of the registered national identification number, NIN, in their technology to trace and curb insecurity across the country. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Talba, can you second?
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Engineer Bukar Talba, member representing Martin Monguno Ganze. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Borno State. I second the motion by my colleague. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to committees on Federal Capital Territory, Defense, and National Security for further legislative action. Honorable colleagues, the first order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center Ikole Ekiti, Ekiti State, and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Akintunde Rotimi, honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 24th December 2023. I now invite Honorable Rotimi to move that the bill be read for the second time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Akintunde Rotimi Jr., and I represent the good people of Ekiti North 1 Federal Constituency comprising Ikole and Oye local governments. Mr. Speaker, I would like to lead the debate for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center Ikole Ekiti and for related matters. Mr. Speaker, sir, healthcare is central to the Renewed Hope agenda, and healthcare is one of the crucial social services that we owe our citizens. As the case is currently, Mr. Speaker, we have the challenge of access to tertiary health care within Ikole Ekiti and environs.
Sorry, has your motion been seconded?
I apologize, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to move that this motion be read for a second time.
Any seconder? Yes, Honorable. Please go ahead. The High Chief.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, Toby Thomas is my name. I represent the people of Warri South, Warri North, and Warri Southwest. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to support that HB 1037 should be read the second time as a second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And,
Honorable Kuye, can you report yourself? Honorable Kuye.
Again, my name is...
I say report yourself.
Again, Mr. Speaker, my name is Akintunde Rotimi Jr., and I represent the good people of Ekiti North 1 Federal Constituency, which comprises Ikole and Oye local governments. First of all, I'd like to thank Honorable Tomi for kindly seconding, and of course, honorable colleagues for approving that this be read a second time. Mr. Speaker, healthcare is one of the central agendas of the Renewed Hope agenda. Healthcare is one of the crucial services, social services that we owe to Nigerian citizens. As it is right now, Mr. Speaker, the people of Ikole Ekiti and environs that are joining local governments and all the communities within have the challenge of access to healthcare services. Mr. Speaker, currently, Ikole Specialist Center, Specialist Hospital, is at least 60 kilometers away from existing tertiary healthcare centers in the state, meaning that our people have access to tertiary healthcare, and they have to commute through very bad roads to be able to access tertiary healthcare. So, Mr. Speaker, I would like to seek the leave of the House and the approval of this honorable House to approve that Ikole Federal Medical Center should also be established. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Is the Oracle, the Deputy Oracle.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. Mr. Speaker, it is very, very true that health is life.
Are you contributing or seconding?
Oh, Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion, sir. I rise to second the motion for the bill establishing Federal Medical Center Ikole Ekiti to be established. I so second, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. a bill for an act to amend the Federal Medical Centers Act and establish Federal Medical Center Ikole Ekiti State and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Health Institutions for further legislative inputs. The second order of the day is the commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal Vocational and Skill Acquisition College, Yankaba, Kano State, and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Hassan Shehu Hussein, honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 12 October 2023. I now invite Honorable Hussein to move that the bill be read for the second time. Is Honorable Hussein around?
Yes. Thank
Please
you,
go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Hassan Shehu Hussein. I represent the good people of Nasarawa Federal Constituency, Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move a motion that the House allows for the presentation of the lead debate on a bill for the establishment of Federal Vocational and Skills Acquisition College, Yankaba, Kano State, HB 592. I so move.
Any second? Yes, Honorable, please, can you second?
Mr. Speaker, my name is Honorable Isa Muhammad Anka from Zamfara State, representing Anka Kilata Mafara constituency. I rise to second the motion, the bill heavily moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Hussein, please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I remain Honorable Hassan Shehu Hussein. I represent the good people of Nasarawa Federal Constituency, Kano State. Mr. Speaker, lead debate for an act to the establishment of Federal Vocational and Skills Acquisition College in Yankaba, Kano State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I thank you most sincerely for the opportunity to stand before you and present the lead debate for the establishment of Federal Vocational and Skills Acquisition College in Yankaba, Kano State, HB 592. Honorable colleagues will recall that this bill was read for the first time on Wednesday, 11th October 2023. Aware that we are in an ever-evolving global landscape, there is a need to equip Nigerian citizens with the required skills and knowledge to strive in the modern workforce. This is the gap this bill seeks to address. Aware that we are in, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the establishment of a vocational and skills acquisition college is crucial due to the country's current skills shortages, which hinder economic growth and innovation. If this college is established, it will provide a training home for a
order, please, order,
that meets the demand of the rapidly changing labor market. In addition, since youth employment is at the heart of most of our conversations, establishing this college will offer affordable, industrial, relevant education to young Nigerians, improving their employability and fostering entrepreneurship. Similarly, establishing this college will enhance Nigerians' economic competitiveness, attract investment, and promote growth and development, as it is crucial for the country's global economic ranking. Furthermore, technology is advancing at an unprecedented rate. The college aims to bridge the gap between traditional education and skills needed in the rapidly advancing technology and healthcare sectors. In the same vein, Nigerian dependence on skilled labor will be reduced by establishing a college that will nurture homegrown talent and promote investment in human capital. This vocational and skills acquisition college will cater to individuals of all ages and will promote continuous learning and adaptability. Finally, the establishment of this college in Yankaba, apart apart the strategic location the area provides, has the potential to promote socio-economic development, create employment opportunities, and stimulate local activities of the area. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, the establishment of a Federal Vocational and Skills Acquisition College in Nkaba, Kano State is a strategic investment that will address economic and social challenges, empowering citizens and enhancing countries' global competitiveness. I implore this Honorable House to consider and support the establishment of this very important college for the betterment of the nation and its citizens. Thank you. I so moved.
Any seconder? Doctor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Chief Dr. Billy Famous Adesuwa Osawaru, representing the good people of Orion-Onhode Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm a proud Benin chief from Edo State. Mr. Speaker, I want to commend, this is a contribution. I want to commend the mover of this bill, my Honorable Hassan Shehu Hussein. Mr. Speaker, the need for a vocational and skill acquisition college in Nigeria cannot be overemphasized. Mr. Speaker, being the Deputy Chairman on the Committee of Poverty Alleviation, Mr. Speaker, I can tell you we are problem solvers. Mr. Speaker, this is part of solving the problems of our youth in Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, we have a lot of graduates today that don't have jobs. They are not gainfully employed. And a lot of them can't help themselves because they don't have the skills that's required. Mr. Speaker, with this bill, I believe a lot can be done to help our youth. We want to help our youth even while they are in Nigeria or outside Nigeria. When you have these vocational centers and skill acquisition colleges,
Point of order, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Mr.
Sorry, sir. Up.
You don't have the floor yet, Mr. Speaker. I'm protected. Yeah, but Mr. Speaker, I'm not acknowledged.
But you didn't mention why you interrupted him.
I want to find out the motion.
Are you coming under point of order or what?
Point of order.
You didn't mention that.
Order 5, Rule 4. I want to find out if the motion has been seconded, because it hasn't been seconded and it just...
Hello? What do you want to?
It has not been seconded.
No, it doesn't have to. His contribution, if I recognize him to give contribution, he is free to give contribution before I can call for the secondment of the bill. So he's in order.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you for the protection, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, as I was saying, with bills like this, Mr. Speaker, it's something we even want to encourage in every state, because this is part of the solutions we must have in this country to make sure that even the federal government, if and when they want to help our youth, we must show them some of the ways this can be done. And I see this bill can do that for us, because when we have universities like this, that's not just theoretical, but vocational and skill acquisition, almost in every state in Nigeria, Mr. Speaker, I think this can go a long way to helping unemployment in Nigeria, because our youth can become employers of labor. They are not only going to be employing themselves, they will be employing other youths. And again, we have government agencies like the Bank of Industry right now. They will have a need to work with universities like this by giving soft loans, and the government actually becoming their first clients. And Mr. Speaker, I think with this bill, a lot can be done to help our youth and reducing the poverty of Nigerian people. Thank you very much again for the mover of this bill and my honorable colleagues. Please let's support this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable colleagues, I only recognize one more person unless if we have anyone who is objecting. Only one person in support. Any other person I may recognize thereafter will be somebody who is against the bill. Okay? Honorable Jaha.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Ahmed Jaha Babao is my name. Chibok Damboa Goza Federal Constituency is where I represent. Mr. Speaker, on a lighter note, I want to commend you for vindicating me today of what actually happened on the floor of the House yesterday, where I said a motion should be moved, and after that that particular motion, a room should be given for contribution before calling for a seconder. Secondly, I want to commend the mover and the sponsor of the bill for the establishment of that vocational and skills acquisition center in Kano. Mr. Speaker, we have been saying it on this floor of the House and will keep on repeating it. The problem of Nigeria today is nothing but unemployment. Unemployment is the basic and the remote causes as well as immediate cause of crisis we have in the country all over. Anybody can admit that. Because there is a saying, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, when Boko Haram was reduced to rebels, less than 100 of them flee to the various satellite communities, but they end up succeeding in recruiting more than 10,000 Boko Haram members. Because of what? Because they met unemployed youth that are vulnerable for employment as Boko Haram members. The same thing applies to banditry. The same thing applies to other forms of criminality. So today, substantial part of Nigerians are not employed. And most of our graduates believe government is the only source of their employment. In advanced countries of the world, people that work with government are less than 10% in most cases. The private sector takes the chunk of the employment as far as that particular country is concerned. In human resource management, people like Sada Soli Jibia can bear me witness. The best form of recruitment is where you employ yourself. In other words, you are an employer of labor. The second one is where you are being employed by a private sector where there is scientific application of management of resources and materials. The worst is for you to work in government. That is the worst form of employment your child can pick. For a child to work in government is the worst. But the best one is for him to be an employer of labor. As a result of this, he may not be a liability to the government. So, Mr. Speaker, if we can recall, just 20 years back, we have vocational training centers in every local government of the Federation, being manned by a state government. People go to this vocational training center and acquire skills. Most of our houses you see in the village are being built, roofed, and furnished by products of that particular institution, vocational training center. We don't have to go to Cotonou, Benin Republic, Togo, to employ labor. But as a result of the collapse of this vocational training center today, before you fix your POP, you have to go to Benin Republic and bring somebody to do it for you. Before you fix your plumbing job, you have to go to Togo and bring somebody to do it for you. Sir, this kind of skills acquisition center ought to have been established in 774 local government of the Federation and ought to have been managed properly by both state and federal government so that at the end of the day, our youth can understand that there is a need for them to be gainfully employed at their own level. So, Mr. Speaker, I raise my voice on this because I know the importance of this thing and is going to take the country out of what the country is today. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, all this issue of economic crisis you are seeing, escalation in dollar you are seeing, is simply because of insecurity in the country. Investors are not willing to come in and invest because their investment cannot be protected. Investors that are domestically cannot invest because they don't have confidence in the security of the country. Remittances from diaspora is not possible because no diasporan can bring in his money where there is not security. So security is the main problem of Nigeria. If we fix it, investors can come in, there will be inflows of currency, and the escalation of dollar must come down. So, sir, this is my contribution. I thank you very much for attention.
Thank you, Honorable Jaham. Anyone against? Is there anyone against this bill? Okay, if there isn't, then I'll put the question. Those in support of this motion, say aye. Those against, you say nay. The ayes have it. This, okay, clerk, please go ahead and read a long title.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act provide for establishment of Federal Vocational and Skills Acquisition College, Yankaba, Kano State, and for related matters. Second reading.
This bill is referred to the Committee on Federal Polytechnics and Higher Technical Education for further legislative action. The third order of the day is the commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the Electoral Act 2022 and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Francis Erogigene Waeve, honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 11 July 2023. I now invite Honorable Waeve to move that the bill be read for a second time.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Francis Ejirogene Waeve is my name, and I represent the entire people of Ugele North, Ugele South, and Udu. I am from Delta State. I rise this morning to move that a bill for an act to amend the Electoral Act 2022 and for related matters, HB 37, be read a second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Saleh, can you second?
Thank you, respected Speaker, distinguished colleagues. I am Honorable Adedeji Stanley Olajide. I rise to second the motion as moved by my colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Waeve, lead.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. I want to plead that this bill be given a chance to pass a second reading so that it can be assigned to a committee and perhaps go for public hearing. It's about the Electoral Act 2022, and I'm proposing a number of amendments to that act. We've all just come out of the elections, and the huge litigations that followed have just ended. In fact, last week, Saturday, the reruns were held. And every one of us are witnesses to what happened as the Electoral Act 2022 was being implemented for the first time. I must say that the Electoral Act 2022 was enacted by the Ninth Assembly painstakingly with a view of making our elections more credible, more credible, such that the results that come from it will be more acceptable. However, after the elections and everything we have gone through, we find that there is a need for an amendment to the Electoral Act 2022 to address some of the challenges that we faced during the election, to correct some obvious defects in the Act, and to get us better prepared for coming elections. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, there are a number of sections of the Act that I propose for amendment.
The first one is Section 10, subsection 3. In this section, I am asking that INEC should not just do revalidation before every election, but rather, every 10 years, there should be a fresh registration of voters. Because the revalidation currently being done, Mr. Speaker, does not completely eliminate the names of dead people and those who shouldn't be on the register. Re-registration will help us to have a clean register every 10 years. And that's the first amendment that I propose, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I also go on to propose, and I ask for your kind consideration, my honorable colleagues, the cost of conducting our elections are enormous, hundreds of millions of naira every electoral cycle. I am proposing, and I plead that you support this proposal, that going forward, all the 5 elections, the election for Mr. President, the election for the governors, the election for the National Assembly, the Senate and the House of Representatives, the State House of Assembly, all the elections be held on one single day, except, of course, off-cycle elections. But the general elections be held on one single day. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, this will save this country hundreds of millions of naira and will also save time. And we prevent this matter of bandwagon effect after the first election. And we know the problems we've had with postponement of election after the first one. So that's one of the proposals I here propose. And I seek your support.
Honorable Kuye, Honorable Isiaka, please order.
Order, order, order in the House. Please, order.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I crave your indulgence to consider another amendment that I propose. In the 2022 Act, the matter of electronic transmission of results was not definite. I think that we are the lawmakers. We are the ones that make the law for the country. I think we should not make a law that will be vague, that will be interpreted differently by different courts of law. I therefore propose, honorable colleagues, that Section 60, subsection 5, should read that the presiding officer shall transfer and or transmit the results, including the total number of accredited voters and the results of the ballot electronically. If we are this clear and definite, the courts will be uniform, and the judgments that will emanate from the courts will be the same across the country. Another proposal that I have brought here, honorable colleagues, Mr. Speaker, please, for amendment, is this matter that we faced during the litigation. Some of us had 3 matters at the tribunal level. At the Court of Appeal, we had 2 matters, 3 matters, costing us time and lots of money. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, some of these petitions to the tribunals were frivolous. Some people who scored 100 votes will take somebody who has 60,000 votes to court. And you imagine what he's looking for. I propose here, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, that those who bring such frivolous petitions to the courts should be fined heavily. The penalties should be such that will deter such frivolous petitions from going to court. You can imagine our governorship elections that just went on, 75% of the elections went as far as the Supreme Court. We must stop this trend in our country. That's why I propose that Section 130, subsection 2, should read that notwithstanding the provisions of Section 1 above, any person who presents a frivolous petition to the tribunal shall be liable to pay a huge fine to the respondent, if the court so determines the petition to be frivolous and a waste of time. Honorable colleagues, I ask that you support this amendment that I have brought for the Electoral Act. I believe it's good for our country, it's good for our democracy, and it will be good for future elections.
Order,
Thank you
please.
very much, Mr. Speaker.
Order. Order in the House. Order, please.
Thank you, Honorable
I will recognize 2 people who are in support of this bill, and then 2 people, if there are, who are against. So I will start with those who are in support. Those who are in support should raise up their hands if they want to contribute. Thereafter, we'll give opportunity for those who are against. Let's contribute first, please. Let's start with contribution. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, distinguished, the Right Honorable Speaker, Your Excellency, distinguished colleagues. Mr. Speaker, I am delighted to be here today. My name is Barrister Jesse Okejo Onwakalus. I represent Nigerians, especially the heartbeat of Lagos, Ocho Solo, Federal Constituency 2. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, I must say that I'm delighted to be in this plenary today, where this proposed amendment is being debated. One, I must say that election is meant for our constituents to let people who will represent them, and not the reverse by the court. We witnessed in the last election that many people that were elected in numbers have the election reversed because of technicalities in our court. Therefore, it is imperative that we do everything possible to ensure that the Electoral Act is in tune with the reality of the day and help us to elect effectively and in line with our constitution. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, I must say that 3 areas the proposal has raised today is very key. One, on transmission of results. We did discover that after the election, we have glitches. And these glitches cause unnecessary delay. And that's led to several litigation in court. And these are put in our courts in jeopardy because our courts are being threatened by the number of election tribunals that ordinarily shouldn't have gone there. But if we ensure that the act is amended and elections results once counted are transmitted, and once transmitted, it reflects the voice of the people, the vote of the people, it saves our court from the troubles of 90% of members here went to tribunals. It would have saved our court that problem to attend to other matters. The second one is the issue he raised of having election on the same day. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, I want to support this proposal because if you can vote for 3 electoral positions, what stops us from voting the 5 at the same day? You save us the time, and each time we vote to election, the economy is shut down. No nation shut the economy down because of election. In a neighboring country here, Ghana, they conduct the election, people vote and go back to their business. In Nigerian case, once there's an election, the economy is shut down. And we expect foreign investors to come and invest in Nigeria. We must do things, being the leaders of Africa, and do it effectively, and ensure that we do things right. In the light of this, Mr. Speaker, I support this proposal, and I encourage the members to join us to ensure that we have an amendment that will effectively cope unnecessary delay in our jurisdiction. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, colleagues.
Thank you, honorable colleagues. Honorable Rotimi, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Akitunde Rotimi Jr., representing the good people of Ekiti North 1 Federal Constituency, comprising the Ikole and Oye local governments. Mr. Speaker, I rise to contribute to this debate to support that this bill should go for 3rd reading. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to point out the fact that this is very much in line with our legislative agenda. Agenda 3 on law reforms. One of the provisions there is electoral reform, and I'd like to just read very briefly that amend, this is one of the commitments that we have in our legislative agenda, to amend the Electoral Act 2022 to remedy some of the gaps observed, including vague and contradicting provisions. Mr. Speaker, this is an agenda that we put together collectively that had the input of stakeholders from civil society, from media, and Nigerians generally to amend critical aspects of the Electoral Act that affect them. I'd like to support this.
Order, please. Order.
So, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to add my voice to the fact that elections as a critical democratic ritual, right, should be taken very seriously, and the gaps that have been identified should be remedied. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, honorable colleagues. I've told you earlier that we are recognizing only two in favor and two against. So if you are going to speak against, please raise up your hand so that I can recognize you. Please, the man from Rivers.
The right honorable Speaker, I remain Kelechi Ogu. I'm from Rivers State, the treasure bills of the nation. I represent the people of Eche Omoma Federal Constituency. Right honorable Speaker, with all respect to my senior colleagues, I have nothing against this bill, but I want to point out when he mentioned paragraph 3 of this bill, without prejudice of the provisions of the sections and subject to subsection 2, every 10 years the Commission shall carry out a re-registration exercise of all eligible voters and preparation for the next general election. Right honorable Speaker, if we pass this bill, we will disfranchise people. Because you can't tell me now that if I'm 18, so what you're telling me now that for the next 10 years, I'm not going to participate in an election. He is saying,
Please allow him to learn after he has spoken. If what he said is not in agreement with the intent of the bill, the sponsor will respond. Please.
If you can allow me, I will read the clause.
Please go ahead. You have my protection. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Order. Order.
Order, please. Order. Allow him to please make his position clear. We allow the sponsor to respond if what he said is not correct. Please.
Right, Mr. Speaker. This bill is sponsored by one person for now. If there is anything that I'm saying that is not in conjunction with what he has written there, I think we should allow him to stand up and present it well for me to understand. If you go to this paragraph, I will read it for you to understand. He said, without prejudice of the provision of section and subject to subsection 2, every 10 years, the Commission shall carry out a re-registration exercise of all eligible voters in preparation of the new general election. A re-registration. That is where I'm capitalizing. Saying if we go ahead with this registration, we will defranchise people. I will not say if I'm 18 years today, you're telling me for 10 years I'm not going to participate in an election. If it is not what I'm saying, leave on. So you do not read everything.
Honorable colleagues, order, please. Order. Order, please. I think you have made your point clear.
Maybe the word you want me to use is revalidate. That is what you want me to do, to revalidate. So, now, so what happens for someone that is 18 years old? So I think if we go by
Order, please. Order, please.
Order, please. Order.
Are you done?
No, I'm not done.
Okay, go ahead.
I think you should go for revalidation, not for re-registration. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, before I yield the floor to the next speaker, please let me allow the sponsor to respond to this issue. But before then, I just want to be guided because this amendment he has brought are many. You are only uncomfortable with only one aspect, right? All the others you are in support. You are in agreement. Okay. So please respond to only that aspect that is not comfortable. Allay his fear if you can on what you really intend to do.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. You know, when we came in this year, you did mention that the Electoral Act is one of the things we'll deal with. So that's where we are going to. My Right Honorable colleague, the matter before us is not affecting INEC's continuous registration exercise. Continuous registration continues. But what we are talking about is revalidating the register itself, such that every 10 years, instead of expunging the dead and all that, you do a fresh registration. That's the intent of the provision.
Honorable colleagues, you all know that I am supposed to be an umpire. I'm not supposed to lend my opinion. But I just want us to be guided. From what he said, it is really very important. Look at the statistics of those who are voting every election. It is very dismal. Less than 20 to 25% of those who are in the books are really voting. Are we sure that the registers that we are having are really, really what they are supposed to be? So unless after every a predetermined period of time, we take assessment to say, let us subject the whole entire register to scrutiny to be able to know whether those people are really real or not. We cannot rely, because each time we have an election, look at the percentage of those who are voting. It says a lot. It says that there is something fundamentally wrong. It's not that Nigerians are not going to vote, but the rate at which we are reflecting the number of registered voters, something is fundamentally wrong, and we need to, excuse me, check and verify. There is nothing wrong to say that kind of exercise should be done after a period of time, so that if there are accumulated issues of those who died, those who are not in the country, and so on and so forth, that exercise will be able to take them out of the system. So please, I just tend to make further clarification and to also lend my own opinion on this issue without prejudicing those who are still having the opinion that it is a wrong policy. Anyone wants to speak again? Against leader, please go ahead. I've recognized Honorable Ali Madaki to speak.
Mr. Speaker, my highly respected colleagues, my name is Ali Usani Madaki, and I represent the Ala Federal Constituency, of course, of Kano State. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the Principal Act 47.3, with your permission, Mr. Speaker, let me read. 47.3 says, where the process of accreditation specified in Section 2 above fails, such a voter is automatically disqualified from voting. That is to say, no accreditation, no voting. Mr. Speaker, I'm of the opinion that we should not punish a voter for the fault of INEC. It will be very harsh to tell a voter because his accreditation machine did not work, he is being disenfranchised from casting his vote. We should truly dig in to find a way to make sure that a voter who comes out to vote with his voter's card that is on the voter's register is allowed to vote. But all the other items on this paper, I'm in full support. But I feel this one, we should find a way of not punishing the voter for the fault of INEC. And if we allow it like this, it will be used against many people, because this INEC, we know how they operate. That is my only exception that I need correction on.
Thank you, Honorable. The sponsor, are you in agreement with what he has said? Or you think that what you have provided is still the best option?
Mr. Speaker, I know that the product of our second reading goes to the committee and then to public hearing, and more issues would arise. The beavers, we can see there is an improvement from the previous card that we were using. I think that if we insist on using these machines, the attempts to dodge and go back to incidence fund will be gone forever. But if we keep creating the loopholes, They will take advantage of the loopholes, Mr. Speaker. Let the law be definite and clear. That's my position, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have recognized two in support, those against. So we'll just go ahead and put the question. Those who are in support of this bill to be read for the second time should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Electoral Act 2020 and for related matters, second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Electoral Matters. The fourth order of the day is the commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to make provision for establishment of Federal Institute of Fisheries Research, Tafawa Balewa, Bauchi State, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Jafaru Gamboleko. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 12 October 2023. I now invite Honorable Leko to move that the bill be read for a second time. Is Honorable Jafaru Leko around?
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Right Honorable. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, respected colleagues. My name is Honorable Jafaru Gamboleko, and I represent Bogoroda's Tafawa Balewa Federal Constituency of Bauchi State. Honorable Speaker, respected colleague, I want to respectfully seek the leave of the House to step down the debate for today.
Any seconder?
Yes, sir. To take it for
Step
another
down.
day. Yeah.
That is the problem of sometimes coming to see us when we are presiding. So, Bill, step down by the leave of the House. Just a minute. The fifth order of the day is a motion on the need to rehabilitate Aiba, Anpe, Olamoboro portion of the federal highway from Itobe to Otupa in Benue State. Standing in the name of Honorable Abdullah Ibrahim Halims, Honorable Halims is hereby invited to move the motion.
My distinguished honorable colleagues, Abdullahi Ibrahim Ali Halims is my name. I am from Kogi State, and I represent the good people of Ankpa, Omala Olamboro Federal Constituency. I hereby move on the need to rehabilitate Ayigba, Ankpa, Omala Olamboro portion of the federal highway from Itobe to Otupa in Benue State. The House notes that the deplorable state of Ayigba, Ankpa, Olamboro portion of the federal highway stretching from Itobe, Kogi State, to Otupa in Benue State is a major concern to motorists plying the road, thus causing nightmare to commuters on a daily basis. The House also notes that since the construction of this strategic portion of the road by the then military administration of General Ibrahim Babangida to link the north central to the southeastern part of the country, no rehabilitation has so far taken place on this road. Concerned that the deplorable state of the road has caused major economic and social losses and aggravated insecurity, leading to avoidable deaths, armed robberies, kidnappings, accidents, traffic congestion, thereby exposing the communities along the route to danger. The House resolves to mandate the Committee on Works to liaise with the Federal Ministry of Works, Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FAMA, to ensure speedy interventions. And 2, also mandate the Committee on Works and Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues.
Leader, are you done? You're done. Any seconder, please? Is Honorable Kanis?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my wonderful, awesome colleagues for giving me this wonderful opportunity to second this great motion. My name is Honorable High Chief Kenny Small Chukwugozie Nwachukwu. I am from Imo State, and I represent the most powerful people of Olu, also and Oru East Federal Constituency.
The speaker is getting distracted. Everybody
Order, please. Order. Please.
I rise to second the motion heavily moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Works and Legislative Compliance for further legislative action. The 6th order of the day is a motion on need to investigate the allegations of certificate racketeering by Nigerian students in collusion with some officials from various ministries, departments, and agencies in Nigeria, standing in the name of Honorable Abubakar Hassan Fulata. Honorable Fulata is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Hassan Fulata. I represent Berniwa, Krika Sama, Gudi Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the need to investigate allegations of certificate racketeering by Nigerian students in collusion with some officials from various ministries, departments, and agencies, MDS, in Nigeria. House notes that in the last 2 months, the county has been plagued by a scandal involving Omar Audu, a journalist who went undercover to investigate a booming business where he obtained a certificate and a transcript from Ecole Supreme de la Gestion et de Technologies in Cotonou, Benin Republic, Cotonou, and participated in the NYSC within a month. Also note that according to...
Order, please. Order. Order in the House. Order, please.
It was craftily achieved with the active involvement and connivance of government officials and the Federal Ministry of Education, the Nigerian Immigration Service, and Nigerian...
General, you are dividing the House, please. You and your people there, please pay attention.
Nigerian Immigration Service and National Youth Service Corps, alarmed that the journalist recounted his experience where the agent gave the option of studying
either for a year, a month, but he opted for 1 month in which he obtained a certificate and transcript without attending lectures at the said university or without leaving Nigeria. Aware that the Federal Ministry of Education authenticates all certificates obtained abroad before allowing participation in the National Youth Service Corps. Also aware that officials of ministries, departments, and agencies ensure the due process and compliance at all levels with national and international protocols, processes, and rules before, during, and after obtaining any certificate. Cognizant that there are MDs charged with the responsibility of ensuring the smooth and seamless process of each candidate studying within or outside the country, such that verifying the genuineness of institutions, courses, and authentication of certificates, which are the responsibilities of the Federal Ministry of Education and National Universities Commission, while the issuance of international passports vested in Nigerian Immigration Service, processing of visas, and issuance of note verbal vested in Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the mandatory 1-year National Youth Service by the National Youth Service Corps, among others. Concerned that over the years, foreign institutions have graduated Nigerians in different fields of human endeavor, including medical, doctors, pharmacists, laboratory scientists, lecturers, and other workers in the public and private sectors, rendering myriads of services. Also concerned that recent development has not only put a question mark on the quality of certificates and capacity of graduates from these universities, but has also tarnished the image of the country's education system. Also cognizant that failure to identify and prosecute institutions involved in certificate racketeering, their masterminds and students could harm Nigeria's social, political, and economic development, encouraging patronage and posing a threat to country's development. House resolves: 1. To condemn in its entirety the act of certificate racketeering by Nigerian students in collusion with some officials from ministries, departments, and agencies in Nigeria. B. 2. Mandate the Committee on University Education to A. Investigate the matter and identify both foreign and indigenous institutions involved in certificate racketeering in Nigeria. B. Identify officials of ministries, departments, and agencies and other persons involved. C. Identify the students that have benefited from such institutions and their campuses in Nigeria in the last 10 years. D. Recommend the necessary review, amendments, or repeals of laws, policies, rules, protocols, and procedures to be adopted for obtaining licenses, admissions, international passports, screening and authentication of results or certificates, and ensuring proper documentation before participating in the National Youth Service Corps. And finally, recommend appropriate sanctions to serve as deterrent to others. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Amendments.
Amendment or contribution? Is it amendment to the
Amendments.
prayers?
Amendments.
So who is moving for the amendment? Yes, Martins, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Martins Essen. I represent the good people of Oron, Mbo, Okobo, Udumuko, Urefu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I come to amend the prayer 2, where the mover of this motion talked about mandating the Committee on University Education. So my amendment is to say mandate the Committee of University Education, Committee on Youth Development, So I want the Committee on Youth Development to be added. Because NYC
Sorry,
is a
I
partner.
think before we do that, there was a small mistake for not being seconded before he actually led the debate. So please, let's get it seconded, and then we adopt the presentation he made earlier. Okay? We will move for the secondment. If you know you are hardened, like a rock, please second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished honorable colleagues, my name remains Honorable Peter Anekwe, representing the good and hardworking people of Anambra East and West. Mr. Speaker, I am from Anambra State. I rise this morning to second the motion, able moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in favor should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Martins, you can go ahead and move for your amendment of one of the prayers, right?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I remain Martins Esin. Mr. Speaker, my amendment is on prayer 2. And my amendment is now to read, mandate the Committee on University Education, Committee on Youth Development, Committee on Interior, because they are principal stakeholders in this matter, so they should be part of this investigation. That's my amendment, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to this amendment? Yes, Honorable Akume, I saw your hand up.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Rep. Regina Akume, representing the good people of Boku Taka constituency. I rise to second the motion moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. What are the, sorry for my record, Honorable Martins, what did you propose as amendment on the prayer 2?
Committee on University Education, Committee on Youth Development, Committee on Interior, and Committee on Foreign Affairs. Jana?
The last one?
Foreign Affairs.
Foreign Affairs.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Another amendment? Yes, Honorable. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I am Abubakar Maki Eleman. I'm from Jigawa State. I represent Malamudori Kaugama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my amendment is in Roman 2 of the prayers to mandate the Committee on University Education and Federal Polytechnics. I said it's in Roman 2 to mandate the Committee of Universities, Education and Federal Polytechnics to include, yes, to include federal polytechnics, sir.
Additional amendment to
the federal universities.
To include federal polytechnics?
Yes, sir, because they went for NYC committee on federal
and
polytechnics.
federal polytechnics and education,
yes.
you said?
Yes, sir.
Higher education.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Any seconder to this amendment? Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I am Doda Zakaria Nyampa, member representing the people of Madagali, Michika Federal Constituency. I rise to second the amendment made by Honorable Makid and Lema. I so second.
Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the committees on university education, polytechnic, higher education, interior, and foreign affairs for further legislative action. And youth development, please. Clerk, please take note of that. The seventh order of the day is a motion on the need to investigate the public-private partnership, programs, and concessions agreements standing in the name of Honorable Said Musa Abdullahi. Honorable Abdullahi is hereby invited to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Said Musa Abdullahi. I represent the people of Bida, Bakokacha Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Niger State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this afternoon to move the motion on the need to investigate the public-private partnership programs and concessions agreement. The House notes the persistent dwindling revenues accruing to the federal account and the enormous deficit in infrastructural development with attendant consequences on budget implementation and the economy due to the nation's dependence. Also note the participation of the private sector in the infrastructural development and management of infrastructure around the globe, ranging from roads, railways, airports, housing, power generation, distribution, and marketing, and its enormous contribution to economic development, growth, and prosperity. Further note the establishment of the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, ICRC, charged with the responsibility of formulating policies, discussions, agreements, and supervisions of all public-private partnerships and concession programs, a one-stop shop for concession projects. Aware that the agency, in collaboration with government departments, has initiated several PPPs and concession programs, some of which are still in process, while others have not yielded positive results on crude oil. Also aware that many investors participated in or indicated interest,
please, can I see?
Or indicated interest in most of the programs, while some secure provisional fundings but cannot commence due to insufficient coordination between agencies and ICRC management in actualizing, concluding, and executing the agreement. The House therefore resolves to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate and assess the performance of public-private partnership programs and concession agreements.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Recommend.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. He has not been recognized now. Where is he? Who is raising the point of order?
Honorable Ali, Sayyidu, are you done?
No, point of order is being raised.
Point of order from who?
Isiaka Ibrahim.
Honorable Isiaka, yes, you have a point of order. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable members. Ibrahim Ayokun Isiaka, doctor. I'm from Ala-Igbo Federal Constituency, representing my good people there, Ogun State. I rise to raise this point of order on order from our standing rule, order 109, and I want to be specific on section 2B of this order. And retroactively referring to why committees were set up, both standing ad hoc and other committees by the House under your leadership, Mr. Speaker. To put the record straight, why, with due respect, my honorable member, why I tried to allow you to finish before I raise this is when you said set up an ad hoc committee. Mr. Speaker, I want to refer you to 109(2)B, where we have a committee on public assets. Apparently, Mr. Speaker, we shall be undoing the standing committees respectively set up by your leadership if we are still referring ad hoc committees to ad hoc committees rather on functions, responsibilities already listed for committees. Mr. Speaker, I'm making this special reference that there is no need to call for an ad hoc committee when we have a standing committee handling this type and particular set of motion as being related. With due respect to my honorable colleague, Darisi. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Isiaka, for your contribution, but for records, where a motion cut across functions of different committees, we are at liberty. What this motion is all about is not about one particular committee. It has cut across so many jurisdictions of so many. And secondly, is at the discretion of Mr. Speaker, as well as the House, to determine whether motion should be referred to a single committee or several committees or to an ad hoc committee. It's not something that is sacrosanct, that a motion has to go a particular way. So thank you for your observations. Honorable, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for coming to my aid. Now the prayers. The House therefore resolves The House therefore resolves to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate and assess the performance of public-private partnership programs and concession agreements, recommend ways to improve the nation's infrastructural development, and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
Amendment? Who has the amendment, please?
Amendment.
So let me start from here. I will take two only. Honorable Kuye.
Chairman.
Is it okay? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name remains Ademori Aliukuye. I speak for the industrious people of Shomolu Federal Constituency, and I'm from Lagos State. And by the grace of God and by the benevolence of your leadership, the chairman of Committee on Public Assets. Mr. Chairman, having perused and listened to the motion ably moved by my brother, I want to amend that the prayers read that this matter be referred to the Committee on Public Assets and Special Duties for investigation and to assess the performance, because this actually has to do with assets of government. And when you look at the time frame here, when you consider the enormity of the subject matter, it's not something that can be done in 4 weeks. It's better to give it to a standing committee that in your wisdom and in your understanding established. I so move for amendment.
Honorable Kuye, you have spoken, and I'm sure leader has heard you. Leader, did you hear him? Well, Abi? No, I don't need your comment. So, any seconder to this amendment? Any seconder?
I want to see somebody who has not spoken. Honorable Paul.
No second. If you second, I will
Mr. Speaker, my name is Honorable Professor Paul Sunday Nanchi. I represent the people of Enugu East and East of Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise on this occasion to support this important amendment heavily moved by Honorable Kuye in this instance. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay.
Nay.
I will put the question again. It appears as if some people have kata. So I'll put it again. Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay.
Nay!
The last time, because I cannot be able to distinguish which side carried the day. So please, for the last time, if you want to support or to either to support or to be against, please clear your voice, your throat, so that I'll be able to hear you clearly. Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Amendment. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. So, this motion is referred to the committees on public asset and special duties for further legislative action.
No, it's wrong.
The eighth order of the day is a motion on the need to construct bypass road in Jega, Alero Gwandu Jega Federal Constituency of Kebbi State, standing in the name of Honorable Mansour Musa. Honorable Mansour is hereby invited to move his motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable
Order,
Mansour
please.
Musa,
Order.
representing Ale Rugondu Jega Federal Constituency. The motion
Your microphone, please.
The House knows that in 1970s, a federal government trunk A road connecting Oyo, Niger, Kebbi, and Sokoto states was constructed in Jigatao, linking Nigeria to the Republic of Niger. The House also knows that the town's commercial center in Kebbi State is known for heavy traffic and congested roads, particularly on Friday's market days, which attracts heavy trucks and vehicles. The House concerns that the deplorable state of the road has been causing numerous accidents, injuries, and deaths for a long time, with the report of accidents and deaths occurring on a daily basis. The House worried that a lot of primary, secondary schools and tertiary institutions located along the road where students and pupils cross before entering schools have been injured or killed by moving vehicles along the length of the road. The House observes that to minimize the high rates of
Order, please. Order.
Local authorities and security agencies deploy personnel to provide security to students and reduce accidents, but the increasing number of students the insufficient number of security personnel leave room for improvements. The House worried that the dangerous and the deplorable state of the roads has caused untold fear among parents, leading to school dropouts and absentees. The noise from heavy trunks and vehicles also distracts the learning process in schools along the roads. The House also worried that the road in Sanagi village, Jega local government area, is a major obstacle for knowledge acquisitions and commercial activities. The House, cognizant of the need to construct a bypass road to Kebbi State University Science and Technology, Aleru, to facilitate and ensure smooth learning environments and thriving commercial activities within outside the area. The House resolved to, 1, all the Federal Ministry of Works to come up with a workable modality to ensure the timely and speedy construction of Sanagi Village bypass. And number 2, mandate the committees on works, appropriation, and legislative compliance to ensure compliance and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative actions. Thank you. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Weke Felix, where is he? Please, can you second?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable members, my name is Honorable Felix Mweke. I represent Eleme Tai, Ala-Igbo Federal Constituency. I'm from River State. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I hereby second this motion, ably moved by my colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Works and Legislative Compliance for further legislative action. The ninth order of the day is a motion on need to complete the abandoned shoreline protection project in Ode Oburado community, Wari South West local government area of Delta State, standing in the name of Honorable Thomas Eritomi. Honorable Thomas is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, respected colleague. My name is Honorable Thomas Eritomi. I represent the people of Warri South, Warri North, Warri Southwest. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleague, I rise this afternoon to move on the needs to complete the abandoned shoreline protection project in Odogbodo community, Warri Southwest local government area of Delta State. The House note that the Odogbodo community, the ancestral home of the Ogbodo people of Warri Southwest local government of Delta State, hosts the NNPC tank farm, Chevron tank farm, Escravos gas to liquid plant, EGTL, Escravos gas to plant, Shell Utumara, and other operational activities, amongst others. Over the years have been plugged by ocean studies and coastal erosion. Aware that the federal government, through the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, awarded the contract for Odogbodo Shore Protection Project to contractor who has since demobbed with less than 10% completion due to inadequate funding by NDDC. Concerned that the multinational oil company oil exploration activities in the Odogbodo area contribute to the worsening, surging, and erosion, in addition to the climate change and other natural factors. Worried that the tidal currency of the Atlantic Ocean is remarkably high during the rainy season, as it has overflowed the bank washing away housing, jetty, farmland, and fishing camp, ultimately threatening the very existence of Bodo community. Worried that apart from the resultant socio-economic paralysis of farming and fishing activities, which their main source of livelihood, it also poses a serious social insecurity and health challenge to the people. Cognizant that if urgent step is not taken to address the menace of this ocean soil and coastal erosion, the oil-rich Odo-Bodo community is at the risk of total submersion as the wave and the soil from the Atlantic Ocean become more turbulent. Resolved to urge the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, to make provision for the completion of Odo-Bodo Shore Protection Project and mandate the committee of NDDC, Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, to ensure compliance. Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I so move.
Any seconder, please? Our leader.
Thank you, Speaker. Moto Nicholas Bomo is my name. I represent Bomoni Patani Federal Constituency and from Delta State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my brother, Honorable Thomas. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Niger Delta Development Commission. The 10th order of the day is a motion on the need to suspend the ban imposed by the National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control, NAFDAC, on the production of beverages in sachets and small bottles in Nigeria, standing in the name of Honorable Pascal Abodike and one other honorable member. Honorable Pascal is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Right Honorable Pascal Abodike, I represent here at Federal Constituency. I'm from Anambra State, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my motion goes, need to suspend the ban imposed by the National Agency
Order, please.
For Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, on the production of beverages in sachets and small bottles in Nigeria. The sponsor, Honorable Pascal Abodike, Honorable Philip Abwese, among others. The House notes that Section 4, Subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, empowers the National Assembly to make laws for the order and good governance of the Federation or any part thereof. Also note that Section 88, Subsection 1 and 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, empowers the National Assembly to conduct investigation into the activities of any authority executing or administrating laws made by the National Assembly, including National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. Informed that NAFDAC had announced its decision to stop the registration of beverages in small sachets and bottles in January 2024, when the Director General of the agency informed the public that the agency will ensure that the validity of renewal of already registered products will not exceed January 2024. Worried that the decision to ban the registration of beverages in small sachets and bottles run contrary to the spirit and letters of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, and run against the economic recovery plan of the current administration. Also worried that given the numerous economic challenges confronting poor Nigerians, the ban on the production of the said beverages will cause more havoc and cause job losses to over 50% of workers in Nigeria. Aware of the need to encourage the sustainability of small and medium enterprises, SMEs, which are the greatest employer of labor in Nigeria, employing over 84% of workforce in Nigeria. NAFDAC policy to place a ban on the production of beverages in small sachets and bottles will be counterproductive. Also aware that the decision to place a ban on the production of beverages in small sachets and bottles will encourage unscrupulous elements to go about producing such drinks and products without recourse to NAFDAC. Aware that the ban on the registration of beverages in small sachets and bottles will cause more hardship on Nigerians whose livelihoods come from the production and sale of such beverages, and we in the long run plunge more Nigerians into unemployment and economic hardship and cause them to suffer more in view of the current subsidy removal in the regime. The House resolved to mandate Committee on National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, to investigate the basis and circumstances surrounding the ban imposed on the production of beverages in sachets and small bottles in Nigeria by the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, and call on it to put on hold for being against the letters and spirit of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, and report back within 4 weeks of legislative action, for legislative actions. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity.
We'll just go through secondment because we have so many things to do today. We will not be able to discuss this. It's a very interesting topic. But we may not have time to really discuss extensively.
Contribution.
But there is amendment?
Yes, contribution.
No contribution, Honorable Oshoba.
Against it.
Against?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let me take the contribute first, and then we go for the amendment of the prayers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Make it precise, quick, please.
Distinguished colleagues, Olumide Oshoba, representing Abeokuta North, Obafemode, and Odeda Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, NAFDAC is the agency with a mandate to regulate food and drugs. Now, best global practice. No country sells alcohol in sachets. Rather, they use disposable small bottles. Now, our youths in Nigeria have been known to use these sachets to intoxicate themselves, and these small alcohol sachets put in foil is actually an health hazard as well. So NAFDAC is right on track for banning the sale of alcohol in sachets. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable, for this additional information and contribution. Honorable Jaha.
Sir, it's a very nice motion, actually, but I don't want us to throw a baby with the bathwater. I just want to amend the prayer because it sounds judgmental if it's allowed like this. Mandate the Committee on National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, to investigate the basis and circumstances surrounding the imposed on the production of beverages in sachets and small bottles in Nigeria by the National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control, NAFDAC. So from NAFDAC, and call for it to be halt, to be on hold or to put on hold. It sounds judgmental. You cannot investigate somebody, you cannot convince
Honorable
somebody.
Jaha, just go straight to what you want to amend.
Yes, I just want
without explaining.
The prayer should delete and call for it to be on hold, to be put on hold for being against the letter and spirit of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and report back within 4 weeks. Should be deleted. Thank you, sir.
So it's just deletion? Which part is that?
From, the fourth line of the prayer, sir, after NAFDAC. Are you there? Fourth line after NAFDAC. On the fourth line, there is NAFDAC, sir. And call for it to be put on hold. Should be deleted.
Okay. Any seconder to this amendment? Any seconder? Yes, Honorable, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Uche Okonkwo, representing the people of Idemili North and South. I am from Anambra State. I rise to second the amendment ably moved by Honorable Jaha that from the prayer, it should stop at NAFDAC and call for it to be put on hold for being against the letter and spirit of the rest. Thank you very much. I so second.
Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Any more who can put the question right? Those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. I'll put the question again. Those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on National, motion referred to the Committee on National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control, NADA, for further legislative actions. The 11th order of the day is a motion on the need to investigate the national identity cards released from 2012 to date. Standing in the name of Honorable Mohammed Abba Shehu, Honorable Shehu is hereby invited to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker, sir, my honorable members, distinguished parliamentarians of this esteemed House. My name is Honorable Mohammed Abba Shehu, member representing the good people, the good and hardworking people of Zaki Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, with the humility and respect, I stand before you and my honorable colleague to move a motion in respect of need to investigate national ID card release from 2012 to date. The House note, National Identity Card Management Commission names as established by law is charged with the responsibility of collecting, managing, and controlling citizen data for effective community economic planning and development goals.
Order, please.
The reverse is the case in Nigeria.
Honorable Akume.
Also note,
you didn't say bye-bye to the House and you're going.
The National Identity Management Commission and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, agreed to immediately implement the Presidential Directive on harmonization and the integration of biometric data captured by the government authorities. The directives aim to improve the biometric data collection and storage across the government agencies, collaborating with the NIMS and the INEC for efficient voter registration and enhanced identity management. Also note that readiness of 2015 general election, the government made a deliberate effort to capture eligible voters through the national identity card, collaborating with the INEC to achieve its core mandate for the better electoral result and official usage. This strategy was achieved, causing high expectation among citizens and the government. Aware that Nigeria have shown resilience in assisting the government in obtaining accurate database information through National Identity Card Management Commission, despite the government huge resources for spending up the process and enhancing electoral transparency and accountability in 2015 and the subsequent election.
Worry that the Commission headquarters and its state counterpart have been found to be ineffective in delivering the national assignment to the people, particularly in releasing the national identity card due to the government neglect of operational activities and directive for the benefit of all Nigerians. Concerned that despite the ability of resources for the rapid production and electoral transparency, Nigerians continue to encounter obstacles to update the National Identity Card Management Commission database information due to the lack of attention from the government and effective service delivery. Worry that the Commission received annual budgetary allocation in 2017, 2018, 2019 to fulfill
Honorable Agilo, Honorable
but
Boya,
effort to produce and release national identity card have been unsuccessful, requiring urgent intervention and attention of the federal government.
Order,
cognizant that government intervention in restructuring the Commission is necessary for effective service delivery, revitalizing the Commission operation, and reaffirming the goal to provide accurate data and identification document to the citizens, thus restoring the confidence of the Nigerian populace. Resolve, mandate the Committee on Population and Anti-Corruption to invite the Honorable Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy and the Director General National Identity Card Management Commission to ascertain the delay on the release of the National Identity Card from 2012 to date and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. I move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Murphy Osaro Omoriyi. I represent the good people of Ego, Ikobaga Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Benin City, Edo State. I rise to support the motion ably moved by my colleague. I so move, Mr. Speaker. I so support, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to committees on population and anti-corruption for further legislative actions. The 12th order of the day is a motion on the need to award contract for the construction of Akwanga, Jos, Bauchi, Gombe Road, standing in the name of Honorable Ishai David Lalu and 8 other honorable members. Honorable Lalu is hereby invited to move the motion. Is Honorable Lalu around? Can you stand up properly so that I can examine you?
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am by name Honorable Ishaya David Lalu, member representing the good and hospitable people of Mangu Bokos Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Plateau State, the home of peace and tourism. I rise to move a motion for the need to award a contract for the construction of Akwanga, Jos, Bauchi, and Gombe Road. The House note that the Akwanga, Jos, Bauchi, Gombe Road, linking the northeast to the central region of Nigeria, has remained in a deplorable state over time, causing serious hardship to motorists and commuters that depend on the route for transportation of goods. Concerned that the federal government award contract for the road construction, which worth 348.59 billion naira in 2018, for dual carriage, with completion expectation in 48 months. However, the duration has elapsed. Observes that the Akwanga Jos Bauchi Road, characterized by high vehicular movement and poor condition, has deteriorated, leading to daily accidents and increased fatalities, causing inconveniences for commuters. Recognizes that the completion of the Akwanga Jos Bauchi Road is crucial for facilitating movement of goods and commuters' convenience, hence the need to award the contract in 2025. Resolved to urge the Federal Ministry of Works to immediately award the contract for the construction of Akwanga Jos Bauchi Gombe Road and make adequate budgetary provision for the completion of the project. The House equally resolved to mandate the Committee on Appropriation and Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleague, I so move. Thank you.
Any seconder? Yes, honorable, go ahead.
Abdulganiu Adile Ayuba is my name. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Abdulganiu Adile Ayuba is my name. I speak for and on behalf of the progressively inclined people of Alimosho Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Lagos State. I rise this afternoon to support the motion ably moved by my friend, Honorable Lalo. I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committees on Works, Appropriation, and Legislative Compliance for further legislative actions. The 13th order of the day is a motion on the need to check the abuse of the use of siren on Nigeria's road, standing in the name of Honorable Jesse Oke, Joy Onukwolasu. Honorable Jesse is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues. I seek the leave of this court to present this all-important motion. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, the need to check the gross abuse of use of siren on Nigerian roads. Note that the Federal Road Safety Commission is mandated by the Federal Road Safety Commission Act 2007 to regulate the use of siren, flashes, beacon lights on vehicles belonging to the armed forces, Nigerian police, and other agencies. Also, whether Section 5 of the said Act specify those that are entitled to use siren: the President, the Vice President, the Senate President, the Speaker of the House, the Chief Justice, the Deputy Senate President, the Deputy Speaker, and State Governors and Deputy Governors. Aware that in case of emergencies, Nigerian Army, Nigerian Police, paramilitary agencies, fire service, and ambulance divisions across the world are allowed to drive with a siren. Concerned that the gross abuse of siren have often led to disrupt of traffic flow, divert efforts, excess economic loss due to manpower that are caused by indiscriminate use of siren that creates a bottleneck on our roads. Worried that about disregarding the rules in the known economy and Nigeria, the known law and regulation create a negative impact, especially to our foreigners who come to Nigeria and see that there should be maintenance of law and order in our roads. Observe that the criminals also utilize this opportunity to unleash fears and terrors on our society. Also observe that the abuse have negatively impacted appropriate insecurity assessment, as it's difficult to distinguish the official officers meant to use siren and imposters. The House resolved to urge the Federal Road Safety Commission and Nigerian Police to enforce the law, since we are lawmakers, on the use of siren on Nigerian roads and clamp down holistically on those who are not entitled to use siren for necessary sanction. 2, to mandate the Committee on Road Safety, Federal Road Safety Commission, and Nigerian Police to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker and distinguished colleagues, I hereby move that we give credence to this motion to enable us live in a sane society. I so move.
Any seconder? Honorable Victor.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, my dear colleagues. Victor Afamogene is my name. I speak for the people of Obaru Federal Constituency. Obaru is in Anambra State. I rise this afternoon to second the motion as ably moved by my colleague, Honorable Okejo Onwakalusi. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Federal Road Safety Commission and also Police Affairs. The 14th order of the day is consideration of report of the Committee on Police Affairs on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of Nigerian Police Trust Fund, the total sum of 57 billion 14,287,531 naira 92 kobo, out of which the sum of 937,993,627 naira 68 kobo only is for personal expenditure, while the sum of 9,51,490,363 naira 14 kobo only is for overhead expenditure, while the sum of 9,989,483,990 naira 82 kobo only is for recurrent expenditure, and the sum of 47 billion 24 million 803,541 naira 18 kobo only is for capital expenditure for the year ended 31st December 2023. Honorable members will recall that the report was laid on Tuesday, 6 February 2023. Honorable Mikey Yeleman Abubakar will move for its consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Maki Eleman. I am from Jigawa State. I represent Malamudori Kaugama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I stand to move that the report be laid yesterday should be considered, that the House do receive the report on the Committee on Police Affairs on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Nigerian Police Trust Fund, fund total of 57 billion, 14 million, 287 million, 531 naira, 92 kobo. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, 9 billion, 51,490 naira, 363 naira, 14 kobo stand as overhead expenditure, while 937 million, 993,627 naira, 68 kobo stand as personal emolument. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, 47 billion, 24 million, 803, 541 naira, 18 kobo stand as capital expenditure, while 9 billion, 989 million, 483,990 naira, 82 kobo stand as recurrent expenditure. Mr. Speaker, by the lead of the House and your permission, I need this report to be considered. I so move. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Before I call for a seconder, leader, are you okay? Did you hear the grammar, the English? Has it come out clearly? You understand every?
Mr. Speaker, we need the police to function for all of us. We need the police to function for Nigeria. And we need them to play their role in combating insecurity nationwide. To that extent, I want to believe we're okay. And we should go ahead to.
Thank you for the confirmation. So, any seconder? Any seconder? Yes, Honorable, please go ahead.
Hey, you said me.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues,
I am Honorable Architect Mohammed Mukhtar Zandan Kazauri, member representing Kazauri Roni Gwiwa Mkwachi Federal Constituency. I'm from Jigawa State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my honorable colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in favor of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. The 15th order of the day is consideration of report of the Committee on Customs and Excise on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Nigerian Customs and Excise, the total sum of 706,434,216,870 naira 66 kobo only, out of which the sum of 225,993,659,688 naira 50 kobo only is for personnel cost, while the sum of 111,765,093,000 naira only is for overhead cost, while the sum of 368,675,464,189 naira 16 kobo only is for capital expenditure for the year ending 31st December 2024. Honorable members will recall that the report was laid on Tuesday, 6 February 2023. Honorable Leke Joseph Ajibede is hereby invited to move for its consideration.
Thank you, the Honorable Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. My name is Leke Abejide. I represent the good people of Yaba East, Yaba West, Mapamon Federal Constituency. I'm from Kogi State. I rise to move that the House do consider the report of the Committee on Custom and Excise on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Funds of the Nigeria Custom and Excise, the total sum of 706,434,216,877 naira 66 kobo only, out of which the sum of 225,993,659,688 naira 50 kobo only is for personnel cost, while the sum of 111,993,000 naira only is for overhead costs, while the sum of 368,675,464,189 naira 16 kobo only for capital expenditure for the year ending 31st December 2024, and approved recommendation therein. I so move, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues.
Thank you, Honorable Leke. I don't know that the minority leader cleared his ears and he heard you. Minority leader, did you hear? Eh?
Your Excellency, I heard, but I'm not with the report here.
Yeah, but you heard everything, all the figures.
I will need a copy of the report to be sure of the figures.
Okay, Honorable Leke will see you and give you the hard copy.
Thank you, sir.
If you need the soft copy as well, he will give you. So any seconder? Because this money is too much, I don't want to give the poor man
the opportunity to second something that is some hundreds of billions. So please, if you are raising up your hand, you must have to make sure you are a billionaire. At least in spirit, if you don't have it in cash. Where is the deputy chair? Is he around?
Thank you.
Deputy chair, so please second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Hassan Sheikh Hussein. I represent Nasara Federal Constituency, Kano State. I rise to second this very important motion, heavily moved by my chairman. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Leader, can you move that the House resolve to the Committee of Supply to consider these reports?
Mr. Speaker, I remain Honorable Professor Julius Yongere, Honorable Member of one Federal Constituency. I rise to move that the House will resolve it to Committee on Supply. I so move.
Minority Leader?
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the House do resolve into a Committee of Supply. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. House has resolved to Committee of Supply.
Thank you.
Honorable colleagues, the first report to be considered is that of the Committee on Police Affairs on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Nigerian Police Trust Fund, the total sum of 57 billion, 40 million, 287,531 naira 92 kobo, out of which the sum of 937,993,627 naira 68 kobo only is for personal expenditure, while the sum of 9,051,490,363 naira 14 kobo only is for overhead expenditure, while the sum of 9,989,483,990 naira 80 kobo only is for recurrent expenditure, and the sum of 47,024,803,541 naira 18 kobo only is for capital expenditure for the year ended 31st December 2023. I now invite Honorable Maki Eleman Abubakar to give the synopsis of this report.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, honorable colleagues. I remain Abubakar Maki Eleman. I'm from Jigawa State. I represent Malamudori Kaugama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, as you directed me to stand up and say the synopsis of this report, the Nigerian Police Trust Fund requests for the approval of the 2023 budget. The fund was received by the Committee on Police Affairs, who, along with its Senate counterpart, invited the Executive Secretary of the Police Trust Fund, defended the budget estimate before the committee. The Executive Secretary at the budget hearing explained the purpose for which the budget estimate will be put into use and jointly the same estimate of the committee. The Senate had approved the budget estimate of 57 billion, 14 million, 287,531 naira 92 kobo. Having working jointly with the Senate Committee on Police Affairs, the House Committee on Police Affairs hereby requests for the concurrence of the 2023 budget for Police Trust Fund. The total sum of 57 billion, 14 million, 287,531 naira 92 kobo, which breakdown is reflected in the report before the House. The House is therefore requested to approve the total sum of the budget, 2023 budget for the Police Trust Fund amounting to 57 billion, 14 million, 287,531 naira 92 kobo. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleague, I so submit. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Members, you have heard from the committee chair, and without any waste of time, we go straight to the report, and in specific to item 5.0, which is the recommendation side. We have 5 figures there. The first one is personnel cost of 937 million, carried. Overhead expenditure, which has a figure of 9 billion and 51 million, carried. Total recurrent expenditure amounting to 9 billion 989 million, carried. Capital expenditure, which has 47 billion, carried. Total budget recommended by the committee, which is 57 billion, 14 million naira, carried. What else? Okay. So, honorable colleagues, we go to the second report, which is So those in support of this recommendation as presented, you say aye. Those against, you say nay. The ayes have it. So we go to the second report, which is to be considered is that of the Committee on Customs and Excise on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Nigerian Customs and Excise, the total sum of 706 billion, 434 million, 216,877 naira, 66 kobo only, out of which the sum of 225 billion, 993 million, 659,688 naira, 50 kobo only is for personnel cost, while the sum of 111 billion, 765 million, 93,000 naira only is for overhead cost, while the sum of 368 billion, 675 million, 464,189 naira, 16 kobo only is for capital expenditure for the year ending 31st December 2024. I hereby invite Honorable Leke Joseph Abejide to give the synopsis of this report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable colleagues, I remain Leke Abejide. I am from Kogi State. The Committee on Customs and Excise invited the Comptroller General of Customs together with his management team and we look at the budget presented before us based on MTEF targets given to them. In the year 2023, Custom was given 3.669 trillion to generate. But due to some circumstances like election, some waivers from Federal Ministry of Finance, they were unable to meet that target. They were able to generate 3.207 trillion. And when we look at the revenue loss for that year, based on that waiver alone, we lost 1.8 trillion to waivers from Federal Ministry of Finance. And some items are being given special attention by the government, like if you want to invest in Nigeria, you come with capital. Then some of them don't pay duty. They come and it's 0%. That we lost 2 trillion. About 3.7 trillion was lost that's supposed to accrue to Nigeria revenue last year. But this particular fiscal year, it has been agreed now with Nigeria Customs Service and the Federal Ministry of Finance that any waiver will not be granted. If there's going to be any waiver, it has to come after the duty has been paid. Then you come and claim if you have genuine reason to be waived for. IDEC is not going to be used before duty is payment. IDEC will be used. IDEC is import duty exemption certificate. It's going to be used after you are paid to government and they satisfy that, yes, you are qualified. Because so many people are going away with this money without being qualified for it. Some importation are being made and they are fully built items, but they will come in form of raw materials or SKD or CKD. That is completely knocked down or semi-knocked down. So we believe with this year, with the target of 5.07 trillion, if all these measures are in place, they'll be able to meet up with their target. And they derive their funding from 4% FOB, free on board. Whatever they collect, it is out of that they will take to take care of their own personnel costs, overhead costs, and other capital projects. That is how the budget of 706 trillion, 434,216,877 naira 66 kobo came about. And they were broken down in the recommendation as contained in this report. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Members, you have listened to the Chairman Committee on Custom and Excise on his presentation of the 2024 budget proposal. Without any waste of time, I refer you to page 12 of his document, and specifically 8.0, which is recommendations on the proposals. If you are ready, we start. Number 1, the Nigerian Customs Service projected revenue for 2024 amounting to 623 billion. Carried. The second is a 2% share of import VATs for 2024 totaling 22 billion and 25 million naira. Carried. Number 3, ongoing capital projects with a budget of 60 billion 580 million naira. Carried. Number 4, personnel cost for the 2024 fiscal year amounting to 225 billion 993 million naira. Carried. Number 5, overhead cost for the 2024 fiscal year totaling 111 billion 765 million naira. Carried. Number 6, capital cost for the 2024 fiscal year with a budget of 368 billion, 675 million carried. Number 7, the total budget of 706 billion, 434 million, 216,877 naira, 66 kobo be approved for Nigerian Customs Service for the year 2024 fiscal year. Carried. Those in support of this recommendation should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Can you move that the House revert back to plenary?
Mr. Speaker, having taken both reports effectively, I move that we revert to plenary for Mr. Speaker to report to the House.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. Oh. The leader, please.
Mr. Chairman,
so sorry.
I hereby
the head has started becoming hot.
I hereby rise to second, and I so second, sir.
Thank you, leader. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. House has reverted back to plenary. Honorable colleagues, it's my pleasure to read the chairman's reports on these two very important bills. The first one is the report on the Committee of Supply on the presentation of the Committee on Police Affairs on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Nigerian Police Trust Fund, the total sum of 57 billion, 14 million, 287,531 naira, 92 kobo, out of which the sum of 937 million, 993,627 naira, 68 kobo only is for personnel expenditure, while the sum of 9 billion, 51 million, 490,363 naira, 14 kobo only is for overhead expenditure, while the sum of 9 billion, 989 million, 483,990 naira, 82 kobo only is for recurrent expenditure, and the sum of 47 billion, 24 million, 803,541 naira, 18 kobo only for capital expenditure for the year ended 31st December 2023. And the approval of the recommendations of the report as highlighted earlier. The second report is the House Committee on Supply. Consider the report of the Committee on Customs and Excise on the issue from the Statutory Revenue Fund of the Nigerian Customs and Excise, the total sum of 706 billion 434,216,877 naira 66 kobo only, out of which the sum of 225 billion 993,651,688 naira 50 kobo only is for personnel cost, while the sum of 111 billion 765,093,000 naira only is for overhead cost, while the sum of 368 billion 675,464,181 naira 16 kobo only for capital expenditure for the year ending 31st December 2024. And also wish to refer you to the approved recommendation 1 to 8 of the report as earlier highlighted. Leader, can you move for the adoption of the report?
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House do adopt both reports as ably and clearly presented. I so move.
Leader.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the House do adopt the reports. I so second.
Those in support of these motions, you say aye. Those against, you say nay. The ayes have it. Leader, please can you move for the adjournment?
Mr. Speaker, Professor Julius Sihovere, Edo State, I rise to move that the House, having completed all the items on the order paper, adjourn to tomorrow, Thursday, same time, same venue. I so move.
Thank you, Leader, but I didn't see any anxiety from Honorable Leke and Honorable Maki that we should adjourn. It appears as if they want us to continue remaining here. Before I sit to the leader, I want to confirm if we are good to go. Honorable Leke.
We are good to go, sir.
So, leader, second, please.
Your Excellency, we don't expect anything from the Chairman Customs other than that. It's actually good to go. I stand to second the motion that the House do stand adjourned. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. The House has adjourned to tomorrow, 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. Thank you.